What's up, nerds? I'm Hot, and today we're taking a look at the RYTEC AMR to answer one question and one question only: is it good? So this weapon released on Tuesday with the mid-season update, and I stayed up late to try to unlock it. And let me tell you, those lobbies, not fun. So what you guys are gonna see is a bunch of gameplay from release night, me trying to figure my way around the weapon and the different attachments, and also me trying to adapt to the playstyle that this weapon kind of forces, because it does have a pretty unique playstyle that suits it best when compared to like the other snipers. At the end, I'm gonna give my final thoughts on the sniper. I'm gonna give it a rating out of 10, and I'm also gonna show you guys the class setup that I was using that I found to be best, I guess. So I'd encourage you to stick around to the end and watch the whole video to get like a full perspective on the sniper. And yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so we just actually unlocked the sniper, and I decided to go ahead and take off all of the attachments. What you doing, boy? So what you're seeing now is the sniper in as base of a form as it can get. I mean, minus the skin, but this is with no attachments, so the default scope and everything. But yeah, one of the things you're gonna notice first off, or at least the biggest thing for me, was the aim down sight speed. This is god awful. It's actually terrible. Might want to invest in some aim down sight attachments, because this is not, this ain't fun, you know?
Got a personal radar drone ready for escort. Enemy UAV overhead.
Ooh.
Hardpoint secure.
Oh shit. What you doing, boy?
Let's go.
Not only is the aim down sight speed really slow. Oh shit, I still hit that. So not only is the aim down sight speed really slow, but the recentering after you take a shot, like, I don't know, like it's not slow, right? But it doesn't recenter properly. Let's compare it with the AX50. So with the AX50, if I line it up at a particular spot, and we can see it kind of settles down slightly above where the shot was taken. All right, cool. So if we do that with the RYTEC now, at about the same level, and this is where it recenters. So I'm just gonna take another shot there for reference, swap back to the AX50, do it again. All right. So, I mean, I don't even have to say anything else.
Hardpoint contested. We control the hardpoint.
I guess you didn't want to move then. So the more I think about it, I try to think, what place would this weapon fill given all of the snipers and marksman rifles that we already have in the game, and given the recent buffs that have been made to both the snipers and the marksman rifles. I'd say if you want a very long range sniper, then the HDR is your best bet. If you want a more aggressive sniper, then the AX50 is your best bet, especially kitted for, I guess, quick scoping. Then it's still a very good sniper rifle, still has high bullet velocity, and you can kit it to actually be pretty quick as far as like movement speed and aim down sight speed and the handling. if you want super aggressive quick scoping, then Kar 98, especially with the recent buff to aim down sight speed, is the king. I really think in this game, outside of Warzone, and maybe now even in Warzone 2, the Kar 98 is pretty damn good. The reason why it kinda may not be for Warzone is because it doesn't have the same high bullet velocity that something like an HDR or even the AX50 would have. But in multiplayer, it definitely is king because the ranges that you're going to be engaging at are not really that significant, or not significant enough that bullet velocity would come into play. And then if you want super high mobility quick scoping, then you have the Mark II with a sniper scope. So it's kind of weird because it's like, where does this weapon fit? And the more I think about it, I think it all comes down to the fire rate, because you can take the fire rate and the damage. Because you can take shots pretty quickly, and because each of these shots actually does pretty good damage, you can actually clear out like a hallway of 3 or 4 people in pretty quick succession. But because of the incredibly slow aim down sight time, you kind of have to get in a position where you can set up to take those 3 or 4 quick shots. So to give you an example, if you think about any of these sight lines in Atlas Superstore, if you're at the end of the sight line and 3 or 4 guys are pushing towards you, then this sniper is the best one to have in this situation, because you can take your time to line up the shots, and then you can fire 3 or 4 shots pretty much anywhere on their bodies to get the kill. And in situations like that is where I think this sniper rifle shines. So if you're a sniper and you're trying to do montages and you want a gun that you can do a quick 4-on, 5-on with, this is your weapon. But you have to build it in a way that makes sense for that playstyle. So given everything that I've said, this is the class that I've been using that I found the most effective. So the FTAT 7 straight barrel to improve damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control. So all of the things are the major areas where I thought this weapon was kind of lacking, and this kind of compensates for all of it. Just be aware the recoil control isn't as good as the Harbinger barrel. So if you want to be slightly more aggressive, then the Harbinger barrel may be a good alternative to the 7 straight barrel. From my experience using the 448mm Dictator, it has the slowest bullet velocity out of all of them, and it feels the most awkward to use. Yeah, it does improve aim down sight speed and movement speed, but in my mind, this is not an ultra aggressive sniper where aim down sight speed and movement speed are that critical that you would want to give up bullet velocity and recoil control. Because giving up both of them just puts the sniper in a worse position. You can give up one of them, so give up the bullet velocity and take the recoil control if you want to play more aggressive, but for me personally, I'd still stick with the 7 straight barrel. So for laser, I'm using the TAC laser. It helps the aim down sight speed and the aiming stability, which I told you guys this weapon really struggles with. For the stock, we're using the TAC wrap. Pretty much every sniper rifle has a variant of this. Basically the stock that helps aim down sight speed. Now for rear grip, this one, for me personally, I feel like the granulated grip tape actually does help a lot with the aiming instability, but you can still use stipple grip if you really want to aim down sight speed faster. If you feel like it's still too slow, then you can still use stipple grip, but for me personally, I found the granulated grip tape actually does help with that aiming stability. Maybe I might be wrong. And then last but not least, for perk, I'm using focus. And one thing I didn't get to mention in the video, I feel like this weapon has an insanely high flinch, a lot higher than a lot of the other sniper rifles in the game. And I don't know why. I feel like the base flinch is definitely too high, and with focus it even still seems pretty high. So in my opinion, focus is 100% necessary for multiplayer. But yeah, all in all, it's a great addition to the sniper category. Like, don't get me wrong. but it just feels like maybe in a lot of these scenarios the other snipers beat it out, but it still has, I'd say, a decent place, especially if you have a particular play style or if you're trying to hit a lot of clips, then this is definitely the sniper rifle to use. So as a final score or rating, given everything that I've said, I'd give it about an 8 out of 10. And that's once you actually build it correctly, and definitely not in its base state. In its base state, it's probably a 6 out of 10 for me. It feels horrible to use. But yeah, thank you guys for watching the video. Thank you for listening to my ramblings. If at any point in today's video I helped you, be sure to leave a like. Thank you for reaching the end of the video, and have a great day, guys.